Alright. Wait, why do I even have these headphones on? I don't need this. I don't need the headphones this time. Here we go. This is the best part. So, this is a video. This is a YouTube video you're currently watching. My voice, my body has finally returned to YouTube. I will be very upset if I knock this flag over. I feel like I'll insult everyone that watches this video. Alright. Chat. What you see before you is a building. I don't even know what the building's called, but I went to Canada. I went to Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. I went over the course of like 2 days technically, right? I went up for a wedding, which I'll be covering that in the next YouTube video, right? This is just me going to Canada. This is my Canada, Ontario, Ottawa experience, right? But no, I was lucky enough to get invited to a wedding. His name is Gangster on internet platform, but his real name is John, and he married the love of his life named Mel. Again, I'm not going to get into that right now. That's another video. So let me just start this out, right? I had to get a passport and all this other stuff just to come up to Canada. And getting up there, right? I'm expecting like some crazy border stuff. No. It's it's just one lady just sitting there, asked maybe a maximum of 2 3 questions, and then on my way I went, right? Like it was so easy. Granted, they didn't stamp my passport, and I was very sad, right? I thought stamps were still a thing. Apparently not. But no, it was really nice. And the highways, right? So entering Canada, highways perfect, right? Canada's got their highways. Plus, there's a beautiful bridge you cross over and everything. I loved it. Getting closer to Ottawa, though, right? Getting deeper into the city, the highways progressively got worse and worse. Actually, almost to the point where I thought Syracuse was actually having better roads, which is that's bad. If my hometown roads are better than certain roads, but needless to say, I'm going to a hostel, right? It's called Ottawa's Backpackers Inn, which was actually really cool, right? I get to this place which is on a double kind of one-way road, which is a pain in the ass because trying to make an illegal turn, there's cops everywhere. There's cops everywhere in that city. So I actually had to follow the laws to eventually get to the hostel, to which then I turn out I can't even check in, right? So you're thinking, all right, Banjo, where are you getting with this whole story? Well, needless to say, I need to pee too, right? I had to pee since I got to the border of Canada, and I didn't know where I could go pee. They wouldn't let me into the place because no one was there to let me in, and the people staying in the hostel aren't allowed to let strangers in. Which, let me tell you, I'm a stranger. Sadly, right? So, luckily, a good friend of mine tells me, "Hey, come visit me at my work. Get some breakfast, go whatever." Okay, all right, it's not a bad idea. So let me start with these pictures, right? I'm walking to her location of work, and the sights are beautiful, right? Like I didn't know what to expect going to Ottawa, but I loved it, right? Like there's just so much architecture. The buildings were great. There was nothing really boring to look at, and I had to take some photos, right? Like the canal system they still use. This is the Parliament. I pardon my non-knowledgeable of Canada, but apparently this is like the main building. This is the best place. This is number one. You don't build higher than this, right? I was talking to some people and they told me buildings aren't allowed to be built higher than this, at least in that area. I don't know about all of Canada, but it pertains to the Parliament. And the building was just beautiful up close, right? I was walking, taking photos, and then I discovered like you got some really weird looking glass buildings, which honestly have one of the most coolest reflections ever, right? I just had to take photos. I wish I took photos of the hostel I was in, but I didn't. And now you're probably thinking, Banjo, don't you have to go pee? Yeah, I had to go pee, but you know what? I might as well take some photos as I'm walking, right? Using my Google phone. So here's the thing, right? I get to this office. I finally get here, right? And I know you're probably thinking, what's up with the door? Why is there a picture of the door? To me, maybe this is normal in Canada. Everything in that office bothered me. The ceiling tiles were super long and skinny. The light fixtures were long and skinny. The door itself is like made for a 9 to 10 foot person. It blew my mind. I had to take a photo of this door because I people wouldn't believe me. Right? I've never seen doors this big, but apparently there's doors like that in Canada. I don't know. So finally, I get to go to the restroom. Right? And I know I just skipped over that photo, but I don't want to leave it on too long. My friend takes me out to go get some coffee and a breakfast sandwich. By the way, best breakfast sandwich I've ever had. I loved it. It was delicious. They actually know how to make some pretty good breakfast sandwiches at a cafe I don't remember the name of, but it was like 10, not even maybe 2 minute walk. The hot chocolate wasn't actually too hot, so I was able to drink it right off the bat. I loved it. So I get ready to go. Right, I'm going back to the hostel to finally check in because I was told at 12. Um, so I'm walking back, right, taking photos. I get to the hostel and then I'm told I have to wait till 1. So it's like, okay, I'll wait till 1. And I didn't seem to mind, right? I was talking to some people wandering around. It was not too bad. And if anyone doesn't know what a hostel is, because I didn't know either for the first time, basically it's just a house that many people share, and the rooms persistently have, or consist, I'm sorry, different sizes of beds that are in there, like bunk beds. Like you can get a private room, rooms that share up to 10, 7, etc., which was really cool, right? I actually like to meet and see new people. Um, and as I was, getting to understand the hostel experience, there's people from all around the world, right? Like there's people from Poland, the UK, Germany, a lot of France, French people too, right? I didn't understand a lick of French. And ironically, with that, I only had to deal with like 2 crazy people in French, right? One guy at a mall, which was out of this world. I don't understand what he was saying, and he kept on to touch my shirt, so I was just kind of freaked out by that. And then I had another person, I think, asking for money, following me around. But again, besides that, the rest of my experience was great, right? Just the atmosphere, going outside, the weather was perfect, right? I don't think I had any bad weather except maybe toward the end when it was kind of rainy, but that's okay, right? You gotta expect a little water here and there. But I just loved it, right? The buildings were so fun to look at. This is also, I don't know what this building is, but just looking at it, look at that. Like that's like that's like something people don't even know how to make anymore, let alone keep up and maintain, right? Like the buildings there were so great. And I know I keep talking about the buildings, but I'm huge on buildings. I hate boring square buildings, and I know if people would ever watch me play video games, they go, "Well, you do the exact thing. You build squares." And I know I can't build anything other than that. But um I bet this. Go upstairs. Go upstairs. Go upstairs. I had to take the photos. Ironically too, right? So I got yelled at. So in Canada, right, there's so many like walkways and stuff like that. I got yelled at by one of the cops, which I didn't actually think would happen. It was like my first time walking across an intersection. I was jaywalking. I know I'm a bad person. I just hear "Hi," and, I look, and he's like, "Wait for the light." And I'm like, "Oh, my bad." Even though people are walking by me as this is happening, right? Like people are just wandering by, and they're like, "Oh, you don't care about this, you stupid American. You're falling for the easiest trick in the book." But I don't want to get arrested in a country that I barely know. So, besides that, I had no other problem with the interactions of law enforcement or anything like that. Just again, it was beautiful. I had to keep looking at this building. I walked all the way around it. Behind this building, if you're seeing in the photo, there's actually a river, canal. Well, it's actually a river, and I took photos over here. On the other side, so we're on Ontario. Those buildings you see across from there is Quebec. Maybe when I come back to Canada and spend maybe a week or so up there, I'd love to go over there and check it out, explore, see what we got. But for the meantime, I was only there for Friday and Saturday, so I really had to make use of what time I had, right? It was adventure here, get some souvenirs, and then attend a wedding, which all of it went very well and was great. Again, I just loved all of the just the atmosphere, the landscape. It was just so great. I loved it, right? And I'm hoping you enjoyed these photos too, because I wish I took more photos, but I'm not like huge photogenic, even though I always want to say I'm getting photos. And again, I sat there probably for 5-10 minutes just taking it all in, right? Listening to people speak languages I have no idea what they were saying, and I had to take a photo for a family, which they wanted a million photos, but eventually we were all done and I said goodbye. So, not to mention, even minus just the buildings, there's so many beautiful statues, like memorial sites, everything there. I loved it so much, right? There was so much to look at. I almost wish I can go back again now and just keep looking at everything because there's just so much knowledge wandering around. Just this small part, right? Like I didn't even explore all of Ontario. I just did this, a little bit of Chinatown, and some outskirts, right? Like that was it. That's all I did. That's all the time I had to do. But, I mean, just look at all of what's going on. And plus, the place is busy. I mean, I'm not huge on cities anyways, and I don't really have a very good city to go off of because Syracuse, we have our moments. But there were so many people. Like, it was just constant movement. There was just always people going across the street, intersections changing. You get your occasional car honking at somebody, but normally it wasn't too bad. Yeah, I'd see a few close calls with these people that gave no fucks and just walked right out on the road and just almost got hit. But besides that, I loved it. I honestly, there was very little I can think of that I didn't enjoy about going to Canada. Getting into Canada was simple and easy. Driving around Canada wasn't too bad until you get into the city. That's a little difficult. But traveling around isn't terrible. It's easy to find places. Again, and it's just there's so much to look at. It's so beautiful. I just can't. I wish this was all gone. Maybe the next time I come up there, I don't know what they're doing. Maybe they're just updating it, cleaning it up. I don't really know what they're doing. But again, that's the Parliament, if I'm hopefully saying that correctly. And it's amazing. You could just walk around and just look at all the historical sites and just talk and interact with these people that are guides or guest tourist people that I guess tell you all the information you need to know. Again, and plus the best thing about this tower is just the clock in the center, right? Imagine how big that clock is if you were standing in front of it, because from down here it's still huge, and I'm way far away from this building when I took this photo. And again, like I said, there's just information everywhere. I'll let you pause this part so you can read this, but we're gonna keep going because again, now the videos, I don't want it too long. But again, there's also beautiful art, right? As I was walking around, there's a lot of like self artists that were on the ground doing like sidewalk art, technical graffiti, but not on certain buildings. This is a random picture I threw in here for the hostel. I was on the top floor, but this building was sold. It was over 100 years old from what I was told, and it got moved from a different location to where it is now. I loved it. Right, and this is the only picture I took of the hostel. I'm sorry. If you ever want to look up the hostel I was in, though, I highly recommend it. It was great. It's called Ottawa's Backpackers Inn. I honestly had no problem or experience besides trying to get in. So this place, right, we got Zach's Diner, Don't Starve. They're open 24/7. They're probably like a 10-minute walk from where I was staying. And they had some really good food, right? Like I got a delicious burger, got me a milkshake, and the service there wasn't bad, right? I mean, yeah, there was a shit ton of bees for some reason. Like I don't know why Canada's full of bees and wasps all out of nowhere. But besides that, there was no problem. And in this photo, right, look at that, look at that crisp milkshake. I had two good friends attend me going there, right? They recommended this place, so we went there and we got food and drinks, and the milkshakes were really, really good, right? I'm not huge on paper straws because it starts to like deteriorate, and it kind of confused me when I got it in my mouth, but I'm not going to discredit, right? Basically, besides that, I just walked around, right? I had to kill time for the wedding, and I just took in so much. I took in so much sights and just walking. At this point, though, in the photos, we went to go meet up with John, aka Gangster, because he wanted to go eat all you could eat sushi. And as we were going, I just took photos. Right? I mean, just look at it. It's explain that. What's wrong with me? I haven't done YouTube videos in a while. I'm sorry, but just take it all in. Look at that. It's one of those like postcard moments right there. It's gorgeous. I got to actually see this unknown soldier, which it's very nice, right? Like this is, and it's not like hard to get to or even see. Like there's nothing really blocking you, and there's so many tourists taking photos, right? Like you just feel like there's always something happening. It's not boring. It doesn't feel like you're in a dangerous area. I just loved it. And again, you just take it all in for what it's worth. I know I'm going a little fast through the photos. I'm trying to get used to this. Plus, I can't really see my face in the camera. You're not supposed to know that, but right now I'm like hoping this goes well. I might edit that out. I don't know. And again, there's just interesting things to look at and interact, right? Like, look at that sexy man. I was lucky enough to find this person standing there that wanted to pose for me. I was like, hey, pose for me. And they're like, all right, yeah, take a good photo of me. Make sure you get my good side. And that's exactly what I did. Whoever that man is has all the good sides. I'm not sure about the man in the corner looking around, but the man in the center, yeah, baby, that's a good looking man right there. All right, enough getting all woosy about myself. And again, I just had to take some more photos of this place. So, anyways, as I'm going to Chinatown, right, we're walking down. Plus, this is a very old road. Apparently, I was told this is like the original road of Ottawa, or one of the first roads in Canada, let alone. It's not a walking path, but I mean it goes on for a long ways, and it just cuts like right down the city. It's so amazing. I love it. I just had to keep taking photos. I wish I could have took more, but if I did this video, it'd be like 4 million hours long, and I don't think even I could probably watch all of this. And again, something about Canada, they love their glass windows, but I just had to take photos because of the reflection, right? It just makes the city feel bigger, brighter, and more open. I think that's why they did it, right? I just got obsessed with taking photos of all this intricate, like, almost Doctor Strange looking stuff going on. Like you have to actually look at it for more than a second, and then you discover it's like almost three-dimensional in ways you didn't even imagine. So with that, also I found out this is an apartment that down that way, green and brown building, is a good friend of mine's place they used to stay at. And as we got closer, I took photos. Where is it? I don't know what that is. I think I just took a photo of it because again, it looks like something out of a Rubik's Cube gone wild. That's the apartment building right there. So, anyways, we get to Chinatown, right? Because I'm trying to get this video shorter than it has to be. This is just, interesting stuff to see. Where is my favorite one, though, right? There was graffiti somewhere. There's Chinatown. And it wasn't too bad of a walk. I enjoyed it. I love walking, anyways. Look at that beauty right there. So there it is, right? That's the kind of art I was talking about. You just see on random buildings, locations. And even though it looks a little abandoned, it was still just a work of art, right? It's something you just don't see every day. Babies, I'm trying to do a video. Go upstairs. Love you. And there's the main man himself, right? Before I end this video, like I said, the next YouTube video is going to be all about, this wonderful individual you see here and his now bride, Mel, right? His wife, I should say. We went to the sushi place, probably one of the best sushi places I've ever been. I didn't even care how high the bill was. It was delicious. The food was just so good, right? Like there was nothing really there on the table I didn't want to eat. Besides, like maybe one thing that I don't think we ordered, but it doesn't matter. Again, I love the whole experience. And to end this video off, right? Like I just had to keep taking photos and stuff. I think that's it, right? Okay, so here it is. This is the wedding we're gonna actually end it here for the next video. This is where the main event was, right? This is why I went to Canada to attend a wedding, which I was more than grateful to be even invited in the first place. I can't thank them both enough, right? John and Mel, for letting me come up there. And we'll cover all that in the next YouTube video. But anyways, chat, overall, Canada, right? I would have to give it probably a 9 out of 10 experience, especially for someone that was there first, right? Like this, I'll end it here on the photos. But for first time ever going out of country to Canada, 9 out of 10, right? Getting into Canada was easy. Minus the Arrive Can app on the phone could be a little confusing, but honestly, it's not too bad. If you know how to tie your shoes and eat a sandwich, then you can handle that type of difficulty on an app. But you get to Canada, you get into Canada, it's pretty easy. Traffic wasn't terrible. I will admit they don't follow the speed limits just like Americans do, so just go rule of thumb, follow the flow of traffic, you should be fine. If you see a cop, slow down, obviously, until you get used to it. But it was a wonderful time and experience. I loved where I stayed. I loved the food that I got to try. I loved just going out and seeing and talking to all these people and learning just all the things you don't know about Canadian culture and just how it is there, right? It's not too different from America in certain aspects, but in the same sense, it feels almost more free doing certain things. Honestly, that's the best thing I could say. And the worst thing is, yeah, they have homeless people. They have a drug problem, and sometimes traffic can be a nightmare, but that's kind of anywhere, right? Like that's just something you have to expect and just avoid for your own self-safety and mental fortitude. Again, I have to give Canada 9 out of 10 so far for my first trip experience. I want to go back, explore more of it, go in Montreal, go back, and then just see how all that goes. But for Ontario, Ottawa, Canada, 9 out of 10. I loved it. But before I go, I have to put on my hat that I bought there, not to mention Canadian money, right? Like they got the good stuff. They got like the fancy Monopoly money. And I'm just going to show you really quick. Check that out. We got the 100, the 50, the 20, the 10, the 5, and then they got a loonie and a toonie. I figured I should have probably covered this earlier in the video. But oh well, too late. That's all I got to say. Had to put the hat in it. Had to show the money. Oh wait, I do have a loonie and a toonie. My bad. Toonie and a loony, I think. I don't know. God, I hope I got that right. If not, someone will tell me in the comments about how uncultured I am. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a wonderful day.